here in 1 second.
And how long before we go on air?
We're going to go right now, actually. All right. Let me see here. All right. We are live. Well, good evening, everyone. It's your friend Russell K. And welcome to another edition of the Artist Spotlight Show, being brought to you by Blue Shamrock Music and Biker Bay Barber and Associates. When it comes to music, we've got you covered. And do we have an amazing guest on our show tonight? What an amazing musical career he's had. His name is Gene Fisk. He has been a part of the Australian country music scene for 70 years. And he just turned 90 years old. So he has a new album coming out. It's called 7090. And they're celebrating 70 years in the business. And Mr. Gene Fisk turned 90 years old, and he is still going strong. He has a radio show. We'll talk about his musical journey. We'll find out what are some of the highlights of that musical journey. And oh, by the way, he has family members are in the music business as well. Donna Fisk is also a renowned artist in the Australian music scene. And so it's so excited to have our special guest on the air right now. And again, if you want some more information, send us your request to info.musicdreamsusa@gmail.com. Music Dreams USA Radio is a distributed iHeart radio station on the iHeart Radio platform, coming to you live this evening on our YouTube channel. Now, let's go live and meet our special guest, the one, the only, Mr. Gene Fisk is in the house. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Russell. How are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm super excited to have you on the show. That's how I'm doing.
I'm not used to being on television, so I'm a bit nervous.
Well, we're not television. This is actually a live streaming interview on our YouTube channel. So we are broadcasting via our YouTube channel on all of our social media outlets. So, and it's a great new way to, get you out there. And I'm glad we could do that. And wow, I'm super excited to have you on the show. And thank you for taking some time out here this evening to join us. And tell me more about the 7090 celebration that you guys are doing right now for your amazing career. Can you maybe share with our listeners, what is that all about?
It's all about the fact that I'm turning 90 and also the 70 years of in show businesses, the country music, and on rock and roll early days and everything. So that's 7090, and it's my daughter's handling all that. She's kind of like my manager, if you know what I mean. And she does a good job.
Move.
Yeah, very smart move, yeah.
So tell me about your journey. I mean, 70 years in the music industry. That's unbelievable. That's amazing. How have you lasted this long and you're still going strong? What's the secret formula there, Gene?
It all began back in 1947 when I was 12. It was my 12th birthday present from my parents. They joined me up to a banjo club, banjo mandolin club. Just started in Colac, in a little town, a big town in Victoria. And every Sunday we'd be practicing there on the banjo mandolins. And then when we got good enough, we started touring around in country halls and entertaining people and for charity. And that went on for about 3 years until I had to give it away and go into the Air Force. I didn't have to. I joined up myself with my parents' help when I was 15 years of age. But the rest of the music came after there. I played the banjo mandolin in the Air Force to all my mates, taught a couple of them to play it. And then rock and roll hit in Australia about 1955, and that's when I grabbed the guitar and started learning to sing and play, and it all went from there, slowly but surely, until I became a performer. I had enough material to sing, and I ended up Australia's country music outlaw, believe it or not.
Wow. That's amazing. So, how does it feel to be one of Australians' outlaws? I mean, I know you grew up with the Johnny Cashes and Johnny Paycheck and all those amazing stars. You're like right in line with those guys as well. I mean, that's gotta make you feel good, right?
Yeah, 1977, I began in country music, and had a manager, and he was managing other acts as well. But he dreamed up the outlaw business because of Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash and that. And I had a voice, it was a deep voice, so I wasn't a contralto. So I sang some of their songs, and eventually I started writing my own. But it was something that just developed with the help of this particular manager. And it just took off. People call me the outlaw even today. You want
Wow,
more?
that's amazing. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is your time. Please share.
I haven't done any jail time. Only kidding. But being an outlaw,
What else
you
you want to
have
share
that
with us?
rough
Go ahead,
image.
go for it.
There are some people, and my family were a bit perturbed. My parents didn't really like that image. Um, they said, you're not an outlaw. I said, yes, I am. But it was something to hang on to with the music, which is country music
Wow.
anymore.
Oh yeah. And so, I mean, what are some of the highlights? I mean, you've had a very successful career in the music scene. What are some of your highlights that maybe you're never going to forget? What are those, and why are they so special to you?
Well, when I got aboard the outlaw thing, I was doing shows and backing by various bands, one or two in particular, and I got that image and the outlaw. So I appeared on some very, very big shows with thousands of people at them, and that spread the name and gave me some credit. And I just developed from there over the years. I did little small shows around in hotels and as well, but it was the big shows where I came to the general public as some sort of character, an outlaw.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And so you're still touring today. Is that accurate?
No, no, no. I've retired at my age. What would you expect? Um, I have a health problem which prevents me actually to do it. And I won't go onto that on television, but I'm still surviving. I have a radio show which is once a week where I promote all the young, upcoming and older ones, country singers with their new records or new songs released, not records. And I enjoy that and I love doing it. And I like to think that I'm of some help to their careers because it's not an easy life, let me tell you.
I can imagine, the music. I mean, the music industry has changed so much from when you first started to where you are today. And if you had any advice to give the upcoming aspiring artists that are actually getting into the music scene now, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, first of all, you've got to love what you do. That becomes an obsession to many, and that's what keeps them going. They absolutely love getting up in front of an audience and singing or performing. And you have to, well, there's a lot of people sacrificing goes on. Some things you sacrifice. You should give up going out and getting drunk once a week or once a month. You've got to give up things to be that. And it comes hard for a lot of people, particularly Aussies. But you give up all of that for your persona that you are playing when you're, that's what it is, when you're on stage.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, if you want something, there's going to be sacrifices along the way. And if you're willing to sacrifice, then you can get to where you want to go. And so, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
that's some good stuff right there. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our upcoming sparring artists who are watching now that we'll be watching later? Anything else you want to share with them?
What was that again?
Is there any
Can you
other
hear me?
one you just mentioned? Are there any other advice you want to give the upcoming aspiring artist?
No, I don't need to do that. They know what they're up to, or they wouldn't be doing it. I'm surprised you haven't
Mm.
asked about the hat. It's an Air
Oh,
Force
that's gonna be
symbol.
my next question. You must
Oh.
be looking at my cheat sheet right now. So since you brought it up, I mean, I'm a hat guy. As you can see, I'm a hat guy as well, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
never do show it up my hat. These are I have different kinds of hats, but this is my hat. So tell me about
yeah.
your hat. What makes your hat so special than mine?
I wear it as a symbol of. I did 15 years service in the Royal Australian Air Force as a young boy
Wow.
apprentice at 15, and I joined 15 years of age, and I did 15 years service. That was the deal. My parents couldn't afford to keep me in school anymore, and the Air Force taught me as an RAAF apprentice a trade, which was aircraft maintenance. I was what they called an airframe fitter, looking after, the general structure, the cockpit and the wheels and hydraulics and all of that. So I graduated when I was 18, along with other young men, and out into the General Air Force and on various Air Force bases. I even went to Malaya, to Butterworth in Malaya. I started up a rock band, believe it or not, in Malaya, where I couldn't give away the music. So I had a rock and roll band in Malaya, which kept me on the music. So I never gave up the music at all. I always had some sort of a band or some performances along the way until I retired from the Air Force in 1966. And I'd been studying to be a radio announcer at a school in Melbourne for 4 years. So I put out, tapes to stations. One of them was interested down in Western Victoria, 3HA it was. Gave me my first job in radio as a disc jockey, and that's where it all started. And I never regretted any of it. And looking back, I have some lovely memories of being a radio fella playing all the top hits.
Well, how would you like your second radio job? We're always looking. So, would you like a second radio job? I mean, our station is growing big time. So, I mean, we can find a spot for you. I mean, you're like a legend. I mean, we can carve out a spot for you. So you let me know when you're done with that, and we can get you live on iHeartRadio. How's that sound?
I don't know, but I'll play what you just said to all my radio mates and they'll be jealous.
That's all right. That'll be okay. But yeah, that's amazing though. So I mean, just a musical journey you've had. You got very successful radio shows you just mentioned. Is there anything else you're doing nowadays?
What was that question?
Are you other than you doing your radio show? Is there anything else you're doing nowadays?
Not really. I'm just a retired man, but the radio show keeps me going. I've got to produce it. I've got to get it all arranged and everything every week. I look forward to that, and it keeps me on what's going on in the music world, country music world. So I'm very pleased that I'm doing that at my age. A lot of people are actually amazed. But to me, it's
Yeah,
natural. I just absolutely loved radio because I worked at top stations and met some very, very top people. Some of them weren't the top, but most of them were pretty good. So I'm glad I did all that. If I didn't, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you because you're famous.
well, it took me a while to get up to where I'm at, just like you did, right? And
Yeah,
but we can't thank Stephen Brady for all
uh,
he's done as well. We got to
yeah,
talk about him. With Blue Shamrock Music, and our show is sponsored by Blue Shamrock Music. And again, if you're an upcoming aspiring artist looking to get your name out there, make sure you reach out to Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock Music. He is the
yeah.
man. And
Yeah, I get all that stuff sent by Stephen through
that's
Blue
right.
Shamrock.
Yeah, we got that. We got the commercial spot away. So tell me about Stephen Brady. What has he meant to your musical career?
Well, I only know him through the fact that he um, controls Blue Shamrock. I can't remember if I've ever actually met him. And he'll probably ring up and go crook at me. That means go have a crack. But yes, I think I have met him along the way somewhere. But I've had him with me with that Blue Shamrock company and that now for years. So he's a very familiar person to me because I look forward to when I get the music in. Otherwise, there'd be no radio show.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, he's an amazing guy. Let's talk about your daughter, who's now your manager, Donna Fisk. She's also
Yeah.
had an amazing musical career, and can you maybe talk a little bit about that?
Well, Donna, of course, watched carefully me as I went along the way. Sometimes, if I were doing a show or even radio shows as well, I'd take her along with me. And when I went into the country music business in no, it was in 77, when I was on a top radio station in Melbourne called 3UZ. And I was appearing then as the outlaw. She would be there at some of the gigs, watching what's going on. And then all of a sudden, she started off a little band of her own, a girly band singing, right? And they were pretty good too. And she got the bug, just like her dad. And she's developed all of that, and she became a star in her own right in country music as time went by, and still is. She's still singing.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are just an amazing musical family, all in all. I mean, we've had Dinah on our show before, and now we're having you, and so it's been a pleasure having you guys on the show. And what I mean, what a privilege it is just to interview, just to have you on the show. What a privilege that is. I mean, again, just the fact that you've done what you've done, and you've worked hard, made the sacrifices, and you're still going strong. And is there anything you'd like to share with our audience?
Not really. I could share if I started singing, and I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
But
oh man, you're not going to sing like a little bit for us? I mean, come on.
Donna will send you my latest hit. Anyway, Russell, it's been great to be on your show. Unusual, because I've never done a television talk like this, or interview. And so I'm a bit nonplussed, because why would you be bothered with the old outlaw? That's what gets me. Eh?
That's right. I appreciate. Yeah, I'm glad we can introduce you to something. Just a few more final questions before we wind down our interview here this
Yeah.
evening. So, what do you think about country music as it stands today, compared to when you first broke in to where it's at right now? Are you a fan of it?
Yes, I'm aware of the American, even though I don't play any American country music, because the show that I do is for Australian artists, and they need the help. But I'm aware of the American, and the Australian country music goes along and follows that a lot. I'm not keen on pop country. I like real country music, Australian and in America. It all started in America, and it's a home of country music. I like Johnny Cash and all that era, and Waylon Jennings. That's what I like. I'm not keen on what they call pop country. I don't mind a little bit of rock and roll, though. Don't you worry, I've been a rocker.
Yes, you have. Yeah. So let's switch gears now and talk about the Australian country music scene. How's that shaping up for you guys up there? Is it going as you thought it would go, or what do you think is going to go down with the Australian country music scene?
Yes, well, it's sort of controlled from Tamworth and the Country Music Association, CMAA, they call it. They keep their finger on the pulse, and every year they have big weekend there, and the top artists and some of the up-and-comers are booked to appear before audiences, and that gives them a start, the younger ones coming up. So the CMAA have got their finger on the pulse, and we get continual news from them about this and that artist and so on. So you got to have somebody to control it, and they've allowed the young girls mainly to do the American style pop country, which gets up people my age, but the younger ones like it. So I suppose you've got to go along with the times, and I do. I don't get on the air and you know run people down because of it. I just go along with the whole thing, and it'll all change again as time goes by into something else. They do follow though. They follow the American style of country in a big way. No worries about that. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There is not one bit in it. I agree with you. I mean, the music scene, it's always going to change. It's never going to be the same. And just when you get used to it, something new is going to come along, and all of a sudden you got to get used to that, and then
Yeah.
something else is going to come along. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of the music scene. It's ever revolving, and
Yeah.
it's never going to be the same. And so I can agree with you more. But my friend, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show this evening, and thank you so much for taking time to be with me. I mean, this is you're the main reason why we do this show. To interview amazing people just like yourself. I want to personally congratulate you on an amazing musical career. And the fact that you're still doing your radio show, something you love to do. Many blessings to you as you continue in your family, and also Donna as she continues her musical career. We're going to get her back on the show as well. But thank you so much for being with us here tonight. And again, I wish you all the best, my friend.
Thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you, and we keep in contact. Okay.
I most certainly will. I promise you.
Donna can
I
keep in
promise,
contact
yeah,
with
I
you.
promise you, I'll keep in contact. And
If you ever want me, of course, you can give me a ring, and I might be able to help if I can. But it's been
well,
a
yeah, I
pleasure to
might be
be on
calling you
your
for.
show.
I might be calling you for like a radio gig opportunity.
It's been
and
great
do,
to be
and do like
here.
a part two. Do a part two of this interview. I mean, how
Yeah.
many shows get to interview an icon like yourself? So we're privileged, and a special thank you to Stephen Brady for bringing you on
Okay.
board with us. And my friend, you take care of yourself. All right.
You too, Russell, and thanks for having me. So long,
More than
America.
welcome. All right. Again, that was the Artist Spotlight Show being brought to you by Blue Shamrock Music. And we had an amazing artist on our show tonight. And I cannot thank him enough for being here. And so stay with us next week. We'll have another amazing star for you as well, being brought to you each every week by Blue Shamrock Music and Mr. Stephen Brady. Until then, friends, make sure you check us out each and every Wednesday right here on the YouTube channel, Music Dreams USA Radio. We are a distributed iHeartRadio station on the iHeartRadio app. Until next time, friends, take care, be safe. We'll see you next week on Music Dreams USA Radio YouTube channel.